All right. We are here at the Out of the Mud Universe Studios, and we're here with Big Tone, and this is Let's Talk with Big Tone. You know what? We're playing this music on purpose. This is intentful. With so much drama in the USA, it's so hard to be a black man right now. What's going on? They won't leave Dion alone. They up here messing with Uncle Shay Shay. Man, the Pistons can't get up. It's like they trying to do a LeVar Ball all over again. Can a black man breathe, live? What's going on? But now here we go. It is Big Tone.
What's up, baby? This is Big Tone. We back at the show. I'm glad to be back. There's so much drama in the USA right now. There's so much stuff going on in the USA. I'm gonna start off with the Detroit Pistons. Oh, gee, the Detroit Pistons had a chance to win at home last night, and they didn't pull it out. I think
Introduce yourself.
I forgot to let you guys know. I got a special guest coming in. Christopher Scott is here with us today. Chris, say something real quick.
What's up, y'all? What's going on?
Yeah, we got the Pistons faithful. He was rooting for the Pistons last night, and Bronson just came through at the end. What do you think happened in that game last night, Christopher Ryan?
Well, I put the whole government out there, but yeah. So yesterday,
What you say?
I said you put my whole government name.
Yeah.
Uh,
Put your government out
now
there.
yesterday, the Pistons are a very young. When you
You
think
said
of their
what?
best player, Cade Cunningham, he's
Right.
23.
Right.
Cade is 23. Jalen Duren is 21. Their starting center. Amen Thompson, he's probably just turning 21. So their core is very young. So I'm obviously disappointed, but they just met a more experienced and more talented team, honestly. Like Jalen,
Right. You
um,
think they're more talented? They have
who
more
we talking
talent?
about on the Knicks, the point guard.
Bronson.
Yeah, Brunson, he just was better. I mean, he played better. Like it's really nothing that you can say. I don't like him, but he played better. So
You don't like him?
it is what it is.
Yeah. So what do you think the Pistons need going forward to take the next step?
One more time, what was that?
I said, what do you think the Pistons need to take the next step, going further in the playoffs and things like that? What do you think they
Yeah,
need a lot of?
there's a lot of talk of getting a superstar to the team, and
Right.
I think what can be tough is when you have a young, talented core of players. To tear all that down to bring in like a KD that's going to be here for a year or two,
Right.
it just might not work out how you think. So I think that they continue to develop their young players. I would like to see Devin Booker in Detroit.
Devin.
Um, I think that's a stretch, but if you pair Devin Booker with an up and coming Cade Cunningham and the rest of that young core, I think Booker can be that number one option as they continue to grow. So
Right. I think like you said, they got a lot of good young players. I think Cunningham is good, but Tobias Harris, if Tobias Harris was more solid during the game and they could depend on him more, I think they could have did a little bit more with that.
I've kind of been disappointed in Tobias. He's been with the Pistons. He had a stint with the Pistons, not like when he first got to the league, and there was a lot of hype on him. And this playoff series just proved he's not a very consistent scorer. Him and Tim Hardaway Jr. They threw up a lot of bricks,
Right.
and all the bricks that him and Tim Hardaway put up, and even
Mhm.
our other 3-point shooter that put up a lot of bricks.
What was
Um,
I can't remember the it's crazy, the dark skinned guy that came off the bench that I think the little spark plug. I keep forgetting his name. That's crazy. Um yeah,
you're
but I think Tobias Harris, if he was more consistent, I think the team would do a lot better. I think that their big men. I do think they need another scorer because Cunningham, he can't you can't depend on him to score 30 points every night, and I think if they got, like you said, maybe a Devin Booker or something like that, but I think Devin Booker would be a stretch, but um, whoever they get, I think they need to um, get someone that's going to to work with them to where to embrace the bad boy image and the toughness and all of that because I think the Pistons right now, I'd like I watched the Knicks series and everything. I was kind of turned off the basketball for a minute because basketball is really my favorite sport. But when you got all of these people throwing up these threes all of the times, it's more threes than 2 point shots. It just for me it makes it not fun. I would rather see someone like see a basketball game. And that's why like with the Knicks guard. That's why I was sitting watching the game with my girl last night, and I was telling her I like him because he plays gritty and tough. He plays like he's playing on the playground, and that for me that series, that Knicks series, was a really good series. Like I said, Cunningham and Tobias Harris. I don't think that I think that they're a good core. I do think that they need a more a better score. You don't think that someone like KD, you think KD could come to Detroit and make it work?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do I think Katie could come make? I mean, Katie's one of the most talented basketball players ever. Like
Right.
he's just also on the tail end of his career. So I don't know how much more time he's gonna have. And then also to get KD, you might have to give up a lot of your core pieces. So
Right.
as good as it sounds to get a talent like that to blow your team up for it, I don't know if that's the right thing because we did that for Blake Griffin some years ago, and it backfired. But one more
Yeah.
point about the four that I'll say is Jaden Ivey. So Jaden Ivey, I think, is also 22.
Right.
Before he got hurt early, I think he had an ACL tear. He was scoring 22 points a game. He was that number two scorer on the
Hmm.
Pistons and went out for the rest of the season. So if we had Ivy that for that series, it'd be a different story. But you know, like you said, Brunson just outplayed Cade, and
Yeah. Brunson had ended up with 40 points and 7 assists. Cunningham had 23 points with 8 assists and 7 rebounds. So he was I feel like Cunningham is doing um he's doing his job. I just feel like he definitely needs um some more pieces on that thing. But I like him because he plays hard. And what you say he was Mr. Buckets, go get a bucket. And I was seeing every single time that Detroit yesterday they needed a bucket, they would put it in his hands. So
yeah,
yeah, I think Tobias Harris and a couple more people, if they get that, I think I think it'll be all right. Um, I don't mean to switch topics real quick, but I want to touch on. Have you been looking at the Deion Sanders thing and with Shador and him going number 144? And what do you feel about? What do you think was a major contributor to that? Him sliding down the draft board. Because
I, yeah,
let me just tell you this. I know a lot of people um, say Dion was. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna let you. What do you think? What was the main thing about having Shador slide?
the one thing I know is that it had nothing to do with his talent. That's the one thing that I do know because Shador in my opinion, was, if not the best, the second most talented quarterback in that draft. And there were maybe 4 or 5 quarterbacks taken before him. So it had nothing to do with his talent. I mean, you can say it's Dion. You can say it's, just how he's a very confident, outspoken black man. And, when you think of the majority of the owners in the NFL, they're 70 plus white men. Like, that probably plays a factor into it.
Right.
And I don't know. We can make speculations, but I know that it's not because of his talent.
Right.
So it's what do you think?
I think it is a combination of a couple of things. First and foremost, I do think that Dion's polarizing character um, played the most part in it. I don't think that, like you said, the good old boys club. I hate to say it, with the owners and the white owners and everything. They're not. They don't want to crack that code. They don't want people in their face telling them how to run their businesses and all of this type of thing. I felt sorry for Shador because um me having sons and I'm hands on with my sons, and I would have been exactly like Dion. I mean, I don't understand how when Dion is just trying to coach his son and putting them in the right positions, I don't see how they turned that into something that's wrong, because when Peyton Manning came up and when Eli Manning came up, his dad was right there. I've never seen anybody talking about how his their dad was trying to tell them where he wanted to go, where he didn't want to go. I can remember when Eli was coming up in the draft, his dad said there was a couple teams that if they drafted him, he wouldn't go there. So I I think that
Something more to it, to
it's
where they went in and made some demands to the team, like, hey, we want this to happen because does race play a factor? Probably. But then again, Cam Ward went first overall, and that's a black quarterback. There's been black quarterbacks drafted to the NFL for years. But I think there has to be more to it, that these teams didn't want to give up too much power to
correct.
her and have his dad involved, which, you know, every dad wants to be involved in their son's life, especially when they're taking on something like going to the NFL. Like
Correct.
that's just expected from any dad. So maybe there's something behind the scenes we don't know, but it's unfortunate that he slid that far. But he'll ball out. He's talented. So we'll see
Well,
what he does.
the crazy part about that is now he's on a team where um he has to actually make the team. That the Cleveland Browns are quarterback. They got tons of quarterbacks there. They got I forgot I know they got 4 quarterbacks that's
Yeah.
in Cleveland. They got Flacco, they got Jay Flacco that they're talking about. He's probably going to be the starter. Um, they got
Really
he's going
have
to
Deshaun Watson.
they got Deshaun Watson. They got a lot of pieces in their quarterback talent. A lot of people saying that he might not even make the team, and that's what I thought. There's a good thing that he might not make the team when you got 3 or 4 already star quarterbacks there. So he's going to really have to he's got to go the hard way. He's got to prove himself.
You know, even worse about that situation is that the Browns drafted the Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel a
Right,
couple before Shador. So not
right,
only Shador fall that far, but the team that took him also took a quarter. They took 2 quarterbacks in the same draft while having 2 or 3 quarterbacks on their team.
right.
So I don't. Maybe he got blackballed because you go to an organization, the Browns. When the last time the Browns had a franchise quarterback?
It's been a while. They
It's like a quarterback graveyard. Like,
yeah, that's what that's exactly what they're saying, that Cleveland is quarterback graveyard, where people go there where their careers um don't do much, so
so it's but well, I mean, again, he's a confident kid, and he's got obviously, his a, a smart dad with him that's gonna guide him, and he's gonna work hard, and let's see what he does. But it's an unfortunate situation, but he'll be
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
He
Hey,
got
so
7 Rolexes, and he'll be
yeah,
all right.
that I think all of that, him showing the Rolexes and him colleges, uh, going to college, he's got a Bentley and everything like that. I think that I, I mean, if your dad's rich and everything like that, that's one thing. But to be flashy and having it, making videos about college and everything, I think that played a big part in it. I think if
Yeah.
he would have just played football, his stats and everything, his there were if it's crazy, there were, I think, 4 or 5 other quarterbacks that were chosen before him. That's insane. I didn't even the quarterbacks that that got drafted before him. I didn't even know nothing about these guys. I'd never heard their names or anything like that. And you got quarterbacks being chosen where they're getting way more money than Shador. They got
We got Tommy Boy saying Flacco is 107 years old. A D Watson is on the bubble. He stands a chance with Cleveland.
I hope he does. Like you say, you got all of
What's your
those.
response to that, Jay?
You
To
hear what
to
he said, Chris?
to which one?
They said he got Watson and Jameis Winston on the thing, and he said that they don't think that those other people are going to do too well.
I think the Browns, ideally, they would love to have Deshaun Watson be their starting quarterback, because they paid
Absolutely.
money to Deshaun Watson. So ideally, I think they want to have him there to start. Joe Flacco is kind of like their
Number
senior
two, yeah.
guy to kind of lead the group that they don't expect to start, but he's like their emergency quarterback. I mean, I don't know what their plan is. They drafted 2 quarterbacks in the same draft, and they have 3. I don't know what's gonna shake out, but they paid a lot of money to Deshaun Watson, so I gotta imagine if he's healthy, he's their starter. But
Hey, you know that the Cleveland Browns are coming out, and I've heard them say that they made a mistake with that contract. That contract that they gave to Deshaun Watson, you'll never see that type of contract ever again. He's got a fully guaranteed contract, like two
Wow,
yeah,
250 million.
that's something else. Now, Tommy Boy also said they don't feel he would be a hungry quarterback. He has the talent, but John Manziel
Mm, mm.
comes to mind.
Johnny Manziel. Um, I do feel like he has something to prove. I do. I sometimes kind of felt like he was flashy, but every time he got out there, he proved that he was tough. He was resilient. He can make all of the throws. But I just think that him being flashing the Rolex and all of that, the good old boy club, they don't want that. You
well,
can't
I will
come in
say,
here.
what were we gonna say? I'm sorry.
You can't come in here being like that. You better.
Yeah,
It's. I don't want to say stay in your place, but it's almost like stay in your place, brother.
I will say the Johnny Manziel comparison is interesting, because that's another very talented college quarterback that came into the NFL that didn't translate as well. But I
Right.
think I watched the Johnny Manziel documentary,
I
and
think he won the Heisman too.
yeah, he was a very good college quarterback,
Yeah.
but his focus was on partying and drugs and drinking. and that's all he wanted to do.
Remember
He
him doing that? Johnny Manziel would get on TV and he would just show you
Yeah,
the dollars.
and
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
for Shador. I think is flashy, yes, confident, yes, but he strikes me as a kid that wants to do well and to win football games.
Yeah.
So is he flashy? Yes. Is he probably a little cocky? Like I think a lot of NFL athletes are cocky. Like they have a reason to be because
All of them are. All of them. All of the people in the NFL are alpha males. Definitely, they're going to be cocky.
you're one of the best athletes in the world, so of course you're going to have
Yeah,
a. So
of course.
yeah, it's. Do I think he's going to have the same path as Johnny Manziel? No, because his focus is different than what Manziel
Tommy
was.
Boy is saying, don't forget, he was already rich.
Hmm.
Who?
Shador.
Shador. Oh yeah, Shador been rich. You know what I'm saying?
So if
Yeah,
I could put my 3 cents in, I believe that's part of the issue. You know, we got guys here that they don't they got to figure out where their next meal is coming from. They have a whole family feed. Yeah, sit down somewhere. We just you'll get in there, but we got to get some of these cornbread fed guys in here so we can feed some more Americans.
Yeah. Hey, one thing Shador did is when I say I really applaud him and him understanding the business aspect of this. With his jersey, he told everybody to go to his website and buy his jersey, and now his jersey is one of the hottest selling jerseys, and he's buying it um, off of his platform. I applaud him for being able to make his own lane, being able to make his own money, things like that. That's what a father would want a son to do, to go out and be a good businessman and make good decisions about his future. So like I thought that was they don't talk to you about those type of things. They don't talk to you about um getting it. The owners don't talk to you about, hey, you go to one of them owners and say, hey, I think I want to be an owner. They're gonna,
I just want to say something, man.
go ahead, brother.
This is the representation of the black man talking right now. Do you see what we do when we do what we do? Do you know who the Williams sisters is? What happened? Their daddy was involved. Do you know who Tiger Woods is? His daddy was involved. Have you ever heard of the Ball Boys? Them Ball Boys, his daddy was involved. Anytime the black man daddy is involved, you get some incredible stuff. So look here, y'all just agitated, irritated, and just tated. So just let us do what we do so we can feed more Americans. You can feed more Americans when you got people that they want to see. So when we bring more money to the table, then them cornbread fed can have jobs because we'll make more jobs. So stop getting in the way of the black man. This is the black man representative going on, signing out.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I think the I think we need more owners. I think we need more coaches. I think we need we need more people to, like, a lot of those guys that come into the league, they're not good money. Um, they
they're not good.
don't do good with money. They A lot of it's crazy because the average person, after they get out of the NFL, let's say they've been in the NFL for 7 to 10 years, these people have made millions of dollars, and they say within 3 to 5 years they would go broke from millions.
No,
Mhm.
no, Tone. This is the system now. I am going to stop you there. I do not want the Uncle Shay Shay stuff to happen to you because I want the system to let you understand
Oh, the Uncle
that
Shay Shay.
we do that purposely. We want you to give us back our money. We need our money back so we can give it back to someone else.
That's
It's on
insane.
purpose.
The
You know,
big, in my opinion, the reason for that is because you grow up not really having much and not really understanding
on
um,
purpose.
money. And once you do get it, you want to give back to family. You know, you want to buy a nice car, a nice house, things that you've never had,
Right.
and don't understand that these NFL checks are temporary. And you don't know if you're going to get hurt. You sign a 3-year deal, you getting checks for three years. Your life is long. So I think you get into the league thinking,
That's too much intelligence right there. What are you doing? What are you doing? There's too much intelligence, too much knowledge right there. What's going on?
and yeah. But Shador's the last thing I'll say about Shador. The one reason why I know he's going to be great is because if you watch when he got drafted in the 5th round, days go by, it's embarrassing. All these bad things happen.
Right.
Got drafted, he was excited, he was thankful. He could have been like, man, this was a disappointment. I had to wait days to get drafted. He was very, very humble about it. He was like, I'm ready to get to work. So when you have that, you have the skills that he has, and then you have that mindset. I'm ready to get to work. I'm thankful for this opportunity. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Chris. Do you think, and in the studio, I want you to, George, do you think if you had $15 million, if someone came and gave you $15 million, do you think that that would be enough for you to live the rest of your life comfortably with $15 million?
Yes.
Absolutely. What do you think, Tamika? Do you think that if you have $15 million, you could make that work for for a lot of people?
As long as I can get over my copious spending habits of cocaine, I'll be okay.
Just crazy. Um, yeah. I definitely think with $15 million, I would, and I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I think $15 million I could make work with everybody around me and still have money left over. It's crazy how a lot of these NFL players, NBA players, um, go in and have $100 million. I can remember the guy that played for the Boston Celtics with the big three, Antoine Walker. This guy says he had $86 million in the bank. He had $86 million in the bank and almost went broke to where he had under $1 million. And I'm sitting there looking like there is no way, there's no way that you could take $86 million and within 5 to 7 years have no money or have less than $1 million. That's
Next on Netflix, we have we have an episode of how to blow $86 million in 5 minutes.
it was just insane for someone. It just bad money management.
Now, Tommy Boy also said wild spending and more credit than you can handle trains you to get on a spending high, and money not coming as much. Now you broke. He had 100 million.
100. Yeah, he had a lot of money. And it's crazy for these people to not be financially literate to where, hey, I want to know, what do you spend 86 million to $100 million on?
So I want to know what your son would do with the 15 million. Like, give us a breakdown. We want to hear some smart stuff to do with some money here. $15 million today,
What would
right
you
now.
what would be the first, what would be the first thing? You got $15 million, Chris, in your bank account. What would be the first thing that you would do?
That's a good question. First, I'm not telling anybody.
Right. You gonna keep
And
it to yourself?
I'm just,
Nobody.
and this is the reason why I wouldn't tell anybody and I wouldn't spend $1. Because first, I just need to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Like,
Right.
what am I going to do? Where am I going to put this money at so that when I'm sleeping, I'm making money? Whether that's I'm investing in real estate or that money is going to be invested somewhere. Not all of it, but I just
Right.
really figure out, okay, where am I going to put this money at so that it can work for me? And then once I figure that out, then I can start blessing people. I can call my dad and my mom.
Right.
But first it's like, where is this? This is an investment. This is not spending money where I can go buy a car or a house. I need to make this work for me. And I don't know what that would be. So
George, what would be the first thing that you did with $15 million?
Well,
Realistically.
If the devil's talking to me, first I'm gonna spend $1 million at the Odyssey.
What is not the strip club? Not the strip club. Not $1 million.
Then $1 million, man. I gotta make it rain, thunderstorm.
Oh my God.
Everything. Gotta have friends in high places.
I think it's on $1 million.
$1 million.
Man, I got 14 left. Got 14 left.
Damn.
I'm gonna buy an apartment complex so I can turn that money over so I won't have to pay taxes on it. At least a 60 unit. And then what I'm gonna do from there? Let me get serious. So yeah, I would buy some real estate in an apartment complex so I can make sure that I don't have to pay taxes on that for at least the first 5 years.
Right.
And keep on flipping it into real estate so I can figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of it. But I would I would get my whole name, life, and likeness into a trust.
Mm-hmm.
And once I have it in a trust, you will never be able to find me, see me, or know anything about me. Because that trust is going to make sure I'm sealed under the corporate veil. After that, I would probably start investing in REITs, in real estate investment trust, to where it's, a collective of people that are invested in large properties or large investments. Also, I would help the economy by purchasing whatever shares and stocks are falling to the ground under this new administration. So like if Tesla went to 1 cent, I'm buying all the Tesla I can find and wait until it comes back around 7 years from now. And things of that nature. But also I would create a family council based on my aunts and uncles and put probably about $3 million in there so everybody can vote on what needs to happen with family money. So I don't have to give nobody nothing. If it's a funeral, if it's this, and then go to the family council, figure it out. And there'll be bylaws to it to where the family has to figure out how we're going to keep like a 5% engage 5% of that money to grow each year, and then multiply that by 5 years, 10 years. So each generation, and it have to be more of return, but stuff like that. That's what I'll be on.
Do you know, I was thinking about that, and I do you know a lot of companies, a lot of rich people, how they start their companies off is they get a trust and they put everybody on their trust, but they put life insurance on everybody.
Right.
And at first I was like, dang, they put in dollar signs on deaths, but when you think about it, everybody's going to die.
Hold up, look, Tommy Boy has gotten in on this too. He said Bunny Ranch in Vegas. I was with him there, still looking for me.
Bunny Ranch.
And then he said, I'm going to marry the Brazilian lady on Out of the Mud, INC. So, Alex, if you're listening, somebody's if he gets $15 million, you're his first choice.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would, with my 15 million, I would break my kids off. I mean, that's what my kids, I would make sure that my kids, after I decide and figure out what I wanted to do, I would definitely probably give each one of my kids $1 million. Because I feel like my kids are my older kids know how to manage their money. They wouldn't go out and buy a bunch of candy with it. So I would, with my older kids, I would definitely flat out, I would give them $1 million. And my younger kids, I would have them set aside to where you get this age and you get this much money and you get this, you get there'll be stipulations on it. But the first thing I would do was take care of my kids, and then after that, I would just figure out a way to figure out how to double it.
Oh, Tone, let me add this. I would most definitely, first thing I would do before I wake up from, I ain't never drinking, but I'll probably be not sober.
Right.
From something. And I would make sure before all that happens, I'll give myself an Allen Iverson clause on that money. So it's gonna be some money sitting somewhere
Oh yeah,
40 years from now.
where he got
You
that
know,
50 million. He had that 50 million waiting on
it's
him.
about right now. It's
Yeah.
almost like,
Hey, listen, and what was so crazy about that is he knew he was doing crazy stuff. He knew that this money that I'm getting right now, either I'm a blow or do some stupid stuff with it.
we was at the Odyssey together.
Yeah, that's crazy. That he knew to set 50. It was a $50 million thing from Reebok that when he got, I think it was like 55 or 60, they kicked that money kicked in, and now he's living great. You know what I'm saying? He's living better than he was living when he was in the league.
Because he learned some life lessons and was able to mature.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So
sounds like everybody has a good plan.
yeah. So
Everybody got a plan to get hit in the face.
what I want to, before you guys leave, before you leave, Chris, I want to ask you one other thing. Have you seen the thing going on with Shannon Sharp and how he's getting sued now, and the woman coming out there's money? Have you heard anything about that? Have you been listening to that?
You were breaking up a lot, but I heard Shannon Sharp, and
Yeah. Have you heard what's been going on with him and how he getting sued and everything?
I have, yeah.
Do you how that's it's kind of crazy because I think Shannon Sharp has got to be a lot smarter than that. I would think that you would know that you're a target, and for him to be 56, 57 years old and you're dealing with a 20-year-old, I don't understand. For me, I don't understand what we could even talk about. You know, what are you going to be doing? What are you? I would right off top know that this is she's trying to definitely come up. She's trying to get something from me. Is my resources. So it's like these guys that get took like this. I just feel like they need to be a lot smarter and know that these people are targets and everything like that.
Yeah, I'll say this before I sign off, but you said it right. He he made a big mistake. Like, is he getting extorted for his money? Yes, he is. But he put himself in that situation. Like, he made some bad decisions and the situation he's in now, and now somebody's trying to take advantage of him. So, I mean, that's him. That's he made a bad decision. So, good luck to him.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy to see.
Look, y'all, I'm gonna sign.
Um,
Chris, thank you for joining us on the Out of the Mud Universe with Talk. Let's Talk with Tone. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Chris Scott.
Oh, wow. But again, we have Tommy Boy said I had a feeling he was going to be targeted after that Cat Williams segment,
Right.
but he's not that bright a fellow with his personal life.
Right. It's crazy because I seen Cat Williams. He made a statement after the woman went to sue him for the money. That he said that he told Shannon Sharp that after this interview that everybody's going to come after you, that everybody's going to be trying to get your money and everything like that, and that's exactly what happened. Um, he was a target. The woman came after him 2 weeks after they found out he was getting $100 million deal. And it's just that right there. Like I said, I've never had $1 million, so I don't know how I would act. But if I have $15 million, there is nothing that's going to get my mind off of that money. Like I'm not going to. A 20-year-old definitely couldn't finesse me or get me in a situation.
I'm never going to have $100 million or $1 billion because my trust is going to have $100 million.
Yeah, it's
so the warm milk and bubble gum that I have for you, because that's all I have. That you can have as much warm milk and bubble gum as you can take.
Yeah, it's crazy. Um, I think a lot of black young men should learn from these things to so you can see that these people, your targets, and you should have these guys should have people in their corner that can protect them from all of these females that's trying to come up and and all of these different types of things. These, like, you don't want to end up like Antoine Walker, broke and had 100 million. Like I couldn't fathom having $100 million in my bank account and then end up broke. It's just no. What could you buy? What do-
Common sense.
like how many
Buy some common sense.
how many houses do you need? How many
3.
cars do you need?
I need 3. I need one for those that know what's going to happen when they get there. Another one for those that I can go out on a date on, and then one for the family that the pastor can come by and bless the house.
That ain't gonna cost $100 million.
I know.
That-
And the non-disclosure forms is not going to cause $100 million either.
Yeah. Yeah, I like I said, I want I hope young black men can actually learn from these things that's going on in the world. I think we right now, black men are targets, especially if you got money and everything like that. I think that these young guys in colleges, they should have financial training. They should have people in their corner to say, hey, maybe you shouldn't, this might not be the best decision to make, and things like that. Because someone 23, 22 going into the league, you've got to be an awful mature person to understand what all of that power and the money brings with you with that.
So on a serious note, I believe, in my opinion, the system is generally set up to keep the family away from the person that ends up winning that sport lotto, because you have people that are set up that don't understand the community, don't care about the community, that are guiding them on their financial decisions. And their agents and things like that, they may care as a person and have empathy, but they don't get it. So you when you're coming from an environment, an urban environment, you have a whole different set of rules and things that you plan on helping with and doing for, because you're gonna help this person do this and the school and all this other stuff. You don't Everybody didn't Nobody had significant money. So you want everybody to be comfortable because they made sure you were comfortable on your journey to get there.
Right.
Now, that being said, you can't do for everybody, but you can create environments to where people can grow. And I think, going back to what was said earlier, when you look at like Michael Jordan, his father was in his life. When you look at Barry Sanders, his father was in his life, so on and such. When you see the structure, the nuclear structure of a father in the life, those people still have some kind of stable economic situation.
Right.
But when you don't, and you're coming from a chaos situation and you just trying to put a band-aid over the chaos, then guess what? When you get comfort and you gonna do whatever it takes to keep that comfort, and that comfort costs, because you don't know what the reality of it is.
Right. You don't know you don't have no realness to it. You know what I'm saying? No. Together we're just here to leech off of you, basically.
Right. And then you get that one girl that's not even from your community. She just knows how to smile real good and be nice to you,
Right.
because she understands a 7-year contract. She understands this, that, and the third. She understands what it means to get half.
Right.
Now, she'll do whatever. Okay. And then a percentage off of it because of children. But the women from your community, you know what they want. They're going to tell you, look, you're going to pay for this baby. You're going to take care of me. And you're going to deal with my uncomfortability that you done had that got you here. But I need you to be peaceful and calm. Nope, you ain't gonna have that until I understand what that is too. So when it's the growth factor. So when the guy gets to a certain status, in a certain point, he outgrows the people around him. But you have to come back to reality and say, look, I need to help them grow to a certain point too. If since they were here from this journey, somewhat like how LeBron James or Kevin Hart have done with their teams.
Right. You've got to, and that's something that I would definitely want to do. I would definitely want to make situations to where I'm not just giving out money. I want to put you in a situation to where you can make your own money. Like if I'm not here, I still want you to be okay. I still want you to teach the game. And you know what's crazy? Um Somebody, and I know this doesn't have anything to do with sports or football, but I always looked at, Keenan Ivory Wayans, right?
Right.
The Wayman
The Wayne
brothers.
brothers.
He put his whole family on. He put his brother on, he put his sister on, um, and they were able to make money without him. That's something that Keenan, to me, I don't want to get off subject of sports, but I've never seen anyone do it as good as Keenan did. He put his brothers on. He put everybody on. There were so many people that Keenan put on. There's people.
But even though you say you don't want to go off of sports, that's the antithesis of sports. That's unity. That's the game. You playing together. A team.
Yeah.
They winning. That's what Out of the Mud is looking to do. A team like that, the Wu-Tang Clan, where everybody get paid. If somebody put an album out, everybody
Right.
getting paid off.
Right.
It's the same thing. So it's still sports because they won. Look, they competed with the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl had to change their life because of the Wayans brothers. And what was the show? Living Color.
Living Color.
They had to change their life.
That's crazy.
Because of a black man.
Keenan put on Damon. He put on his sister. He put Marlon Wayans. He put Tommy Davidson on. David
Eddie Murphy put him on, and then
Eddie Murphy
put him on. Yeah.
So she said Eddie Murphy put Keenan Ivory Wayans on.
Yep.
And then what was the other thing you said? And Robert Townsend.
Hollywood Shuffle.
Yeah.
Hollywood Shuffle.
He has said that Eddie Murphy gave them his first opportunity. So it's not just him putting his family on, it's other black men reaching back. And other black men
She's saying there's other black men reaching back and making sure that others have the opportunity
that's
to do what
up.
they did.
Yeah, that's got to be a great that got to be a great feeling. You know what I'm saying? To say I kick in this door and guess what? I want all of these other people to come in with me. I want you to be more successful than me. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about like when in Living Color, Keenan was still on the show, but after a couple of years, Keenan wasn't the main person on there because he had Jamie Foxx, he had everybody on that show.
Tom the Boy said Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, you got a lot of people that came from up under that, and that is
J-Lo.
That's J-Lo was on there. I want to. That's how I would want to do if I've got in the position to where I was doing good and everything else. I want everybody to eat.
That's what we're doing here at Out of the Mud.
I want everybody to eat.
That's you had the largest syndicated sports show in the country.
Yeah.
Don't tell me nothing.
Everybody eating.
Don't tell me when they like Tone talks. You're talking about Tone. Oh my goodness! Out of the Mud, Tone. Oh,
that's what
can't wait to watch.
That's what I'm talking about. Togetherness. I want every family and everything. As we come to a close to this show, I want everybody to help. I want black men to help somebody out. Help a young brother out. Not with just money, with maybe you can mentor somebody. That's what I challenge every black man that's listening to me right now. Go out and find a young man that you can mentor, that you can help, that you could show life skills and everything like that. You know, that's what I want every black man to do, to get a young black man that they can mentor and help be a successful young black man. So as we come to a close today, I want to thank my man James, Mayfield, and George from Out the Mud that put me on to give me this opportunity to grow and become the #1 sports podcast in the world.
Most definitely. And if I could add this before we leave, look, tomorrow, May 3rd, please go out and support one of our most incredible Out of the Mud commentators, which is Tara Lisa McBride.
Right.
Blessing, Real Blessings Thrive. She's going to be at the Sobriety Christ Clean Comedy Explosion, along with one of our other hosts, which is RJ Leary. And guess what? You have a lot of great talent that's going to be there. Big Juicy and Cheese Sticks and a bunch of people. I'm looking at this thing, and
Tamika Thompson gonna be there with her
guess what? Tamika
vision
Thompson's
boards and
gonna be there
everything.
with her vision board. She's not gonna have a vision board, y'all, but she's gonna make you think about it, though.
She gonna be there. Come check us out.
So Big Dante was solidified. He putting this thing on. Look, you got to give out the shots to Big D, because he do his thing. He's been doing his thing for years, and he's been helping the youth and doing all kinds of stuff. And this Sobriety Christ Clean Comedy Show is going to be great. And it's going to be on what? Door Highway? At the, what's the name of it? Because I can't see it on this poster. It's going to be there at the Family First Event Center. The Family First Event Center. So please show your support. Please show your support. Please show your support. And make it out to the Sobriety Christ Comedy Show. $20 a ticket. All right.
Thank you. See you next show.